Stitchy friends, I'm Christy. I'm the Crosshatch Quilter. I'm so happy to be back here talking to you today. It is Saturday, July 31st, 2021, and this is Flosstube number 15. I hope that this video finds you well, that you've been having an amazing summer and having time to soak up the sun and time to stitch and craft. We've had a really great summer. I would say that the word for this summer has been a relaxing summer. I've had to take it easy, and sometimes having to do something is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing, but it's been really good for me, and I've learned the word relax. I am so happy and excited to be able to talk to you about my stitching. I have enough to show you. As you know, I've had eye surgeries, and my last procedure was in the end of June, and pretty much from the end of June, you know, a few days after that I couldn't stitch, but pretty much since the end of June until now I've been a stitching maniac, because I have been able to see and enjoy my hobby again, and it has really helped boost my mood, and I'm just super excited to be able to show you my progress today. It's been a long year not being able to do what I love as much and as easily as I used to be able to do it. And I'm not complaining or saying that to, you know, get sympathy. I'm just saying that because that's what's been going on. I also hurt my back at the beginning of summer, and so I've had to halt all bag making production and really a lot of chores and sewing that I normally do has just had to go by the wayside until I can heal. And I've been spending a lot of time at the chiropractor and doing some lifting weights training so that I can get better. So and that is getting better little by little. So if you have a bag order in with me, just please know that I have it written down. I haven't forgotten about you, and I will get to it as soon as I can. I've just had to put everything on hold for a while. So having said all that, I'm feeling really good and just thankful that those are the, you know, I'm thankful for my issues because they could always be worse. I'm not complaining. But that is where I've been and why it's taken me so long to get back to you today. A lot of people have messaged me saying, hey, where are you? And I just haven't had enough showing. I haven't had enough stitching to share with you because really it's just been slow going. But I'm excited to get back to it now. I have finished to share with you today some new starts, some whips, some happy mail, some haul, a giveaway, and some plans or possibilities to share with you. So let's get to that. But first, I have a short intermission message. So hang on. This message is for you, Brenda.
We love you, and so does Baby Yoda. May the force be with you.
Thank you for entertaining our little intermission. I wanted to show you my Baby Yoda shirt. So in the end of June, when I went to Salt Lake to get my last eye treatment, I took with me 5 pieces to get framed at the Craft Center of Fine Stitchery, and they've just accumulated over the last year and a half of what's been going on in our world and not being able to go and do exactly what we wanted to do. So I took those with me and spent some time picking out some frames with Jamie there. And I took a video before I left of the pieces that I took to get framed, and I will insert that video right here. This is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs, stitched on 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus. I stitched this with Lori, and a bunch of you joined us. This is a very special piece to me. I love it. Cannot wait to get it framed and up on the wall for this fall. The next one is Their Song by Blackbird Designs. It's stitched on a mystery linen. I believe it's a 28 count, but I'm not certain. With all the called for threads, I love this. This is Jack's House by Stacy Nash. I stitched this with all the called for threads on the called for linen. I don't know what that is right now though, but I believe it's a 36 count. This is Red Pin Keep Sampler by Stacy Nash. Called for linen, called for threads. This is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais. I stitched this on 36 count Ren with all the called for threads. The only change I made is that the words around the border, I used the roof color instead of the called for. And I had a very light dye lot of the called for dress thread, but it's the called for. Love this one. I'm so excited for fall now. This is When Witches Go Riding by Blackbird, or by Prairie Schooler. I believe that I stitched this on 28 count Monaco with all the called for DMC. And the last one is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I believe I stitched this on 28 count French Vanilla by R&R Fabrics with all the called for threads. Love it. Absolutely so excited to get these framed. Out of those 7 pieces that I just showed in the pre-recorded video clip, I held 2 pieces out and I ordered pictures from pictureframes.com. My friend Daleen from So Grateful had highly recommended them, and so I thought I would give them a try and frame a few pieces myself. So I wanted to show you those because I just threw them in I literally threw them in a frame this week. They haven't been pinned and stretched and everything. I just wanted to make sure that they looked all good and everything. So I still have some work to do on them, but this is Red Work Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. So I will get this fine-tuned and stretched and laced. I'm gonna probably put some batting in there to give it a little bit of a padded look. But I just love this frame. Again, it was from pictureframes.com. So fun. I stitched this on the called for linen and the called for threads. So that's my first piece. And then the second piece, and I showed this on my Instagram, is Their Song by Blackbird Designs. And I just ordered the frame, the dimensions that I wanted it. They will let you, order any dimension that you'd like. So I measured half an inch out. I like my framed pieces to be tight. So again, I will put some batting underneath this, and so it has a little bit more padding on it. That's what they do at the craft center when you frame without glass, and I really like that look. And I just love this piece. It will always remind me of Barb. And it is definitely one of my unicorn pieces that I've wanted to have done for so long. So I'm glad to have it up and displayed in my home. So thanks for letting me share those with you. I have one finish to share with you today. I had actually forgotten about this little piece, and I was going through my whip bag that had been put away in the other room, and I came across it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to finish this. So I pulled it out and started working on it a couple days ago. And this is Tomato Dame by Plum Street Samplers. And the last time you had seen it, I think, because I can't find a previous picture of it, I had finished the tomato, but I didn't even have the wagon all the way complete. I think the lady was mostly done. So I finished up the vines and the tomatoes and the crows, the flag. In the chart, she is holding a sign that says to make 10 cents. And I liked it, but I wanted her to look like a loving garden lady. And so I thought that it would look more welcoming if she was holding one of the crows. So I added him in there, and I just love how it turned out. I stitched this on a mystery linen. I know it's an R&R linen, but I don't know the name of it. It's 36 count, and I used all the called for threads on it. So I'm really excited to have this done. I will get it fully finished so that I can get it displayed here in my sewing room with all my other tomatoes that I'm completely obsessed with. So I just am, that just screams summer and all the things that I love about summer. So that is Tomato Dame by Plum Street Samplers. Sorry about all the breaks in between each clip. I have to keep taking coughing breaks because I have got horrible summer allergies. My summer allergies are really amped up with all the fires and the smoke in the air. And so if I take breaks, then I can take a drink and I don't have to cough in your ear. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, so on to my whips. I have been keeping up with my red, one strand of red floss a day into a sampler. And I started this after seeing Lori's idea of doing a red sampler, just putting in 1 or 2 strands of thread each day and you'll get progress. So I worked on this a little bit. I haven't worked on it every single day because I didn't take it when I went camping, and there's a few days where I just wanted to push through projects, so I didn't work on it. But for the most part, most days I do put in 1 strand of red floss a day. This is my current project. It's Mary 395 with Hands Across the Sea. And I will put in a picture here of where I was before. And here's my progress. I'm using a Versois silk on 36 count Mayflower linen by R&R. I love this so much. It is definitely one of my favorite things. I'm so glad that I started doing red samplers because they're just so relaxing. It's so fun to have 1 strand, 1 color floss. It's a no-brainer. You just pick it up and stitch for a few minutes, and it just kind of gets your mind into being calmed down and ready to relax and stitch for the day. I really enjoy it. My next project that I worked on is Anniversaries of the Heart, and the last time I filmed it was the end of May, so I was just starting to do a new block. I had finished up in June September's block, and then this is August's. So I finished August's in July. No, in June, sorry. So I finished this block in June other than the over 1 stitching, and now I am on July's block. So it might not get finished by the end of July since today is July 31st, but I've got this block to finish and then June's block, and then it will be done. Other than the over 1 stitching, which a lot of the blocks I have saved till the end. I originally wasn't going to do that, but with my eye surgeries, I could not do the over 1 stitching there for a long time. And now that my eyes are better, I feel confident that I'm going to be able to get back to the over 1 stitching and do that. So this is being stitched with all the called for threads on 36 count Old Town Blend by R&R. Love this project. And I've got one more eye treatment, eye surgery that I need to go through, but the recovery on it will be 2 or 3 weeks. And I've decided to hold that off until this winter when we're all hibernating and there isn't so much going on. So I can just enjoy my stitching. I'm so excited to get back into the groove of it and have it as a habit, and it's just been good for the soul. Our hobbies are always so, that's what we need, right? When we're going through good times or bad, is to have our hobbies. It always helps. So I've done a lot of camping this summer, which has been part of the relaxing and just enjoyable. We go with our friends Lori and her husband, and the boys go fishing, they go fly fishing, and the girls stay home and stitch and craft, and it's just so much fun. They took my daughter out floating the river one day, and then she tried her hand at fly fishing, and she absolutely loves it. I think it was like the third day in, she went fly fishing with them, and then she went every single day after. She just absolutely loves it. And it doesn't gross her out to like touch fish or anything like that. She loves the outdoors and being out with the boys. And thank you for letting her be on this video to say hello to Brenda. A lot of people have asked me if she is still stitching and sewing, and sometimes she does, but I don't force it or anything like that. I don't ever want it to be something that she has to do, because I want her to like it in the future. So I'm sure that when she gets a little bit older, she'll want to spend more time sewing and stitching with her mom. But for now, she's, you know, a kid and wants to be out skateboarding and dance and doing all the things that kids like to do. So, and I don't blame her, but I'm sure that we'll have many hours in the future of spending time together as mother and daughter in the sewing and stitching room. So while we were up camping, I worked on several projects, and the first one is I started Flea Market Flowers. And while we were up camping, Lori was working on a craft project. She had crocheted some flowers to put on her featherweight, and then she made some extras for bags and to add a little bit of bling to, you can put them on eyeglass cases, your bag. They're just super cute. And so I blinged out my bag when I got home, and she had crocheted this flower and then covered up a button. And so I just stitched it on my vintage happy bag. And then this is one of the macrame tassels that Cassidy had made a while ago for me. So there's that, and I just love this. Lori is going to be doing a tutorial on her YouTube channel on how to make these, so watch out for that so that you can bling out your bags and your sewing machines as well. So there's that. So I started Flea Market Flowers, and the last time I had shown this, I hadn't decided on a linen yet. I was going to do it on a cream, and then I sat down to stitch it, and I don't know, I just went to my linen closet, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I want to do black. I think that those colors will pop on there. So that's what I did. So here is my start on Flea Market Flowers. And I'm using all the called for DMC, except this outer border I did in chalk. And then I was going to change the colors and make this a white flower on the inside. That's why you can see that I'm in the middle of unpicking. But I didn't like it. I'm going to go back to the called for where there's some browns in that middle flower. But I just love that. I think it looks so pretty on the black linen. It's 28 count Monaco that I'm stitching it on with all the called for DMC. And I have my DMC on the Super Darling Thread Keep that you can get to match. I got this through Fat Quarter Shop. So there's that, and it just looks, organizes all the threads, and you just pull one off at a time. So there is this is hashtag, there's a sale going on Instagram, hashtag Flea Market Flower Sale. And I cannot wait to get back to this and get it finished and up on my wall. It is so, so pretty. So then the next camping project that I worked on, Lori texted me before we left to go up to camping, and she said, bring your Hawk Run Hollow, your autumn Hawk Run Hollow. And I had already packed it, and I'm like, you bet, we're gonna work on that. And this is the project that I saw her working on last summer, and I had started it a year or two beforehand on 40 count linen, and it's just so dense that because Hawker & Hollows are solid stitching, that I just wasn't enjoying it. But then after I saw Lori's, she had it kitted up from Shepherd's Bush with their over-dyed thread conversion. And here's all the threads. So after seeing Lori's, I was like, nope, I'm going to restart mine. I hadn't gotten very much progress into it yet anyway. So here's my thread bling from my friend Cindy. And I tried to find a previous picture of where I was at before on this, but I couldn't find one. I've got it housed in my bag from Debbie, who is Debbie's Stitching on Instagram. It's got a magnetic closure and then opens up. It's got a thread keep and a scissor keep. And here is my progress. So while we were up camping, I wanted to do easy fill-in. Since my eyes are still adjusting, it's easier on my eyes and doesn't make them as tired if I can just do fill-in. So I worked on this pumpkin up here. I hadn't had it started yet, so I started and finished the pumpkin. And then I think since the last time you've seen this, I worked a little bit more in the house. There's some fill-in in between the bricks that I've been working on, and I've been working on the pumpkins. And this is 36 count straw by Weeks Dye Works. And again, it's a thread conversion from Shepherd's Bush. So now that I'm getting really close to finishing up my Anniversaries of the Heart, this is going to replace it as my monthly stitch. It's a big lofty goal to get one block done a month. I'm not sure if that will happen, but this is going to definitely be one of my monthly focuses. I want to get this, given this a lot of love. So I'm anxious to get Anniversaries of the Heart done, hopefully by the end of August, so that I can really focus on autumn at Hawker & Hollow. And I didn't even show you the chart. I'm out of practice. You have all seen it and know what it looks like, I'm sure. Here it is. And I know on previous videos I've talked about this before, but I am deleting this block and this block because I've already started Halloween at Hawker & Hollow. I wanted to just have this be a fall piece and not have Halloween involved. And so I've picked out my blocks that I'm going to put in lieu of those blocks. And you can switch out Hawker & Hollow pieces because they're all the same stitch count. So that just makes it super fun. This is the Farms at Hawker & Hollow that I'm stealing the blocks from. Take this out of the package so there's no glare. So I'm going to replace those blocks with this barn block and with this church block. And the church block says, "Give thanks on Sunday." I'll probably just put "Give thanks" on there so that it can be "Give thanks always." Maybe I'll put "Give thanks always." So those are the two blocks that I'm going to put in there in its place. So this is one of my all-time very favorite pieces, and I'm excited that I can finally focus on it as a main project here soon. So I really need to just get Anniversaries of the Heart done. Okay. So last video I had talked about my preparations to go camping and how I wanted to get a lot of outlining done so that I could just do fill-in. With my eyes, they have been doing really great, but they get tired easy still. And I think that's totally normal. But if I don't have to keep looking at a chart and looking at my cross stitch, it just helps me. And it's also really fun to just sit and talk to friends and not worry about messing up on your chart because you got distracted. So my first piece that I did fill in on was a Yuletide Welcome. And this is by Plum Street Samplers. This is one of my pieces that I would like to get done this year. And here is my progress last time. So I hadn't filled in the grass and I hadn't worked on the border yet. So that's what I did, is I filled in the rest of that, the white around a Yuletide Welcome to Thee. So I got all of that done, which was a lot. It doesn't look like it's a lot, but it is a lot. And then I started working on the border. And this is being stitched on 36 count vintage buttercream by Lakeside Linens with all the called for threads. And the called for threads are a mixture of silks, NPIs, and overdyed threads. And I love this project. Now that the big, huge fill-in piece sections are done, I'm hoping that the rest will go by pretty quickly. And then the next piece that I worked on, that I have given the most love to over the last 3 or 4 weeks, is a Yuletide Welcome. And here's the chart. I will put in a picture here of where I was before. So as you can see, I needed to fill in, I needed to still put the words in a Yuletide Welcome to Thee, and fill in all of the white around the words. And I hadn't started the house or the border or anything. And here I am. I was really hoping I would get this done, but it just didn't happen. The last few days I had other things I needed to get done, chores and honey-do lists around here, or I might have been able to squeak out a finish. I think I'll be able to get this finished in the next couple days. So as you can see, I'm started working on the horse right here. I'll show you the chart again. So the witch has a horse right here, a black stallion. And then I need to finish this flower basket over here and some stars and another crow. So the 2 changes that I have made on this is I gave the witch some red hair, because we like red hair around here. In the chart, it's charted for gray hair. And then on the chart right here, it says this work wrought by, and then you can put your name. And I like that, but I love, love, love pumpkins. They're my favorite, and is one of the things that I love about fall. I just wish pumpkins were a year-round thing, but so I wanted to add some more pumpkins to this chart, because there's really only the one section over here. So I decided to go through all of my charts and look and see what I could make work. And I came across George Decorates for Martha, again by Plum Street Samplers. And George is holding a pot of pumpkins over here. So I just put that pot right here. And I just used the colors that are already in the chart. This pink pumpkin right here reminds me of those, you know, Princess Cinderella pumpkins that you see. They're like my favorite. And that color was only used a couple times, like in the flowers, and then this one pumpkin up here. And so I decided to make the bigger pumpkin the pinky orangey color with an outline of white, and then the 2 darker oranges. And I love, love, love how it turned out. And I might still squeak in the year right here and my initials. I'm not sure though. This isn't like a sampler, so I don't know if it needs it on this one. But I really love this piece. It's being stitched with NPI silks, and it's being stitched on 36 count vintage sand dune by Lakeside Linens. I had originally started this piece, I think 2 summers ago, and I started on this linen, but with the DMC. And the DMC just was not giving me good coverage. And I don't know why. The colors just weren't an exact conversion from the NPI colors. And I really, every time I kept seeing everybody else's that was in NPI, I'm like, oh, I just love it. So I decided to unpick it, and I would never do that for anything other than Lakeside Linens, but I didn't want to just waste this piece. So I had started the border, I had done the outline on the grass, I think I had started the witch and the horse, and brought over some of the border. It was, oh, and the house. I had all the roof done and probably down to here on the house. It was a lot of unpicking and I will never do that again, but only for Lakeside Linens, right? But I'm really glad that I did switch over to the MPIs. I love, love, love it. And hopefully next time I do a video, I'll have a finish on this to show you. So those are all of my whips. Next we'll go on to haul. I have a giveaway, some plans, and I'll be right back. I had 2 giveaways on my last video and I wanted to announce the winners of those. I have commented on your comment. I have already heard from one of the winners, but I have not heard back from the other. I've heard from the winner of Flea Market Flowers, and that was one of Lori's darling Flea Market Flower thread keeps, and this fresh cut cross stitch pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and a quilt pattern on a winter's day. I love that quilt pattern, that is so pretty. And the winner on that is Marlene Collier, and I have heard from her. I will get these out in the mail to you this week. Thank you, Marlene. And then the winner of Sail Away is Wendy Sane, and that was for this Sail Away bag and all the accoutrements for it. A needle minder, the floss tags for it, the blue Ada, and the threads for it. So Wendy, if you will just email me your mailing address and I'll get that out to you. I have a giveaway for this time, and it has been so generously gifted by my friend Lily, who is Lily Paws on Instagram. She wanted to send me an awesome giveaway to celebrate my 10,000 subscribers, and I am so thankful that so many of you tune in to share with me the love of stitching and check up on what I've been working on. I so appreciate your kind comments. This community has been so much fun to be a part of, and it has truly just added to my love of stitching. So thank you so much for allowing me to share it with you. And so Lily sent me a gift, and then she sent a gift for a giveaway. She sent me one of my unicorn charts, and that is Honeysuckle Manor. I am so excited to have this. This is an out-of-print booklet by Blackbird Designs. I'm hoping that they reprint it one day. It has some awesome samplers in it, these 2 here. And then it has some really cute smalls in it. There's that. I'm really excited to get working on some projects in this book. And then she sent me some scissors and a measuring tape. They're so pretty. Thank you, Lily. She's way, way too good to me. But she knows how much this chart is sought after, and she thought it would be super fun if we could do an awesome giveaway to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. So she sent me over Birds of a Feather, the Sally Spencer sampler. And I would love to give this away to thank you guys for being my loyal subscribers. And I'm going to include a bag from Fat Quarter Shop. This is Mad for Plaid project bag. And these are awesome. I love, love, love these bags from Fat Quarter Shop. So I will be sending one of you this in the mail. Please be a subscriber. Please like, and in the video, I would love if you would tell me what series you've been watching or what series that you recommend. I've been through quite a few series over the last year. Downton Abbey, Poldark, Candleford, or Lark Rise to Candleford. I really enjoy shows like that. So I would love to find a new series that I can get entwined and wrapped up in. So just give me your recommendations and I will get you entered into that giveaway. You have to be 18. You know all the rules. But the other thing that I wanted to say about this chart is please be someone that wants to stitch this. It would break my heart if somebody just flipped it and put it on eBay. It really is a great chart. I have it in my stash as well to stitch. And so I would love it if somebody that really truly wants to stitch this wins it. So this time of year, with the change of the seasons coming, fall is not in the air yet, but it's anticipated because of all of our hot weather we're having. Each year about this time of year, I go through all of my fall projects and I just sit and dream about, oh, what do I want to stitch? What maybe should I work on this coming fall season? And so I've put in a few stitches into some whips that I came across as I was searching through my stash and whips. So I wanted to share just a tiny bit of progress on things, talk to you about plans and of course dreams. And as we all know, as soon as I tell you a plan, it's the last thing I want to do. It's just my ADHD personality. As soon as I make a plan, then that's not what I want to do. So I say all this with a grain of salt and don't take me serious. But one of the first things that I picked up and I put in a few stitches in was Consider the Lilies. And I haven't worked on this for a very long time. This is by Heartstring Samplery, and I started this with my good friend Celeste last year, and she has made some amazing progress on hers. So I picked this up the other day and worked on it, and it was funny because that night after I had set it down to stop stitching for the night, she had posted on Instagram that she had finally picked up hers and worked on it that same exact day. So great minds think alike. I thought that was funny. So I didn't make a ton of progress, but it just gave me I love all my whips. This is the problem when you start going through all of your projects and dreaming about what you want to do next is I'm like, oh, I want to work on that. I want to work on that. I want to work on that. And it sends me down a rabbit hole. So what I accomplished was, I think I stitched these 2 flowers and I stitched this butterfly and I finished up this flower pot. This is being stitched on 36 count vintage buttercream by Lakeside Linens, and all the called for threads, overdyed threads. I love this project so much. So I want to get back to that. We all need more time in the day and maybe more arms to do our crafts with, right? So that was one. And then I put in a few stitches on the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. Here is the chart. This is by Not Forgotten Farms. So not a lot of love. I need to get back to this now that I'm really close on Yuletide. Maybe I can get this one finished up next. So I think I started on the house and the date and started working on his trousers down there. So I'll get back to that soon for sure. And then another thing that I really want to get back to, especially now that my eyes are better, I kind of set this aside because I couldn't see the linen very well to stitch on. But that is Floral Motif by the Scarlet House. And I started this with my good friends Yvette and Carol. And this is my measly progress. Last video I had mentioned that I couldn't find Moss by Gentle Arts, and I had so many sweet, sweet people tell me where I could find it or offer to send it to me. Vanessa, who is Flame Fingers, and Marla at marla.kb on Instagram sent me some floss. So thank you, ladies. That was so, so sweet and generous. This is being stitched on 36 count vintage autumn gold with all of the called for threads. And I'm excited to get back to this. I love this project so much. And that is to join in on the hashtag for the love of Brenda Sal. So I for sure want to get back to that one. And then I have several that I haven't started working on. I just pulled them out of my stash, and I thought I would share with you my dreams and plans for this fall. The first thing is I want to start working on Kaleidoscope cross stitch. I have joined in on the quilt along for the bed runner with Fat Quarter Shop. It started yesterday, and they're making a table runner or bed runner, and I did work on my blocks for that. Let me show you my quilt blocks. So these are the 18-inch size, and we made 3 yesterday. And I'm making mine out of Lori Holt's fabric line Autumn Love. So in the bed runner there goes 3 big blocks and then 4 of the smaller blocks. And these are really fun to put together. Lori did a tutorial on her YouTube channel yesterday to show how to construct these. And then next week, Kimberly is going to show on Fat Quarter Shop's YouTube channel. Did I say Lori's website? Lori's YouTube channel. She showed the tutorial yesterday. So next Friday, Kimberly will be showing the paper piece method of how to make these flying geese and half square triangles. So look out for that. But in this book, there's also a cross stitch, and I want to make that as well. I think it would look so pretty. And they show it in 2 different colorways. This is so pretty. When I was growing up, we had a family kaleidoscope that was always in the family room, and it was made by my aunt, and it was super breakable. It was like made out of stained glass. Back, you know, like back in the 80s when everybody always made stained glass. But I always got in trouble because they were worried I was going to break it. But I just couldn't keep away from the kaleidoscope. It was one of my very favorite things. So this will always remind me of, kaleidoscopes will always remind me of childhood. And so I instantly knew that I wanted to make the quilt or the bed runner and do the cross stitch. So that is on my future plans. And then I was just watching this morning Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts as I was getting ready to film this video, and I just smiled from ear to ear because she showed Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, or the Beast. We had started this last year, and of course, in my normal squirrel fashion, I saw other projects and just got distracted. I've got it housed in my fig tree bag, which just says all things fall to me. So I want to get back to this. I pulled it out about a week ago when I went through all of my fall stuff, and I most certainly am going to put some love into this fall. I don't know if I will finish it this year. I kind of like to treat seasonal stitches. I'm a seasonal stitcher, so I like to treat them as just a holiday piece that I like to stitch in the season on and then set it aside for the next following season. So that's probably what I'll do, is I'll give this some love and then set it aside for next fall as well. This is a really good one to go camping with, and I will probably get the house outlined so that I can do some fill-in stitching on that. So and it's being stitched on 36 count Ren. by Picture This Plus. And then Jen Lee of Quirks and Stitches had done a floss conversion, so I am using that. And then there's my darling thread bling from Becky from Socks for Mom. So I'm excited to get back to that, and that'll be fun to work on alongside of Olivia. And then I pulled out just random, all my fall things that I'm dreaming of. I'm not necessarily going to work on these. They're just amusing right now. I would love to get back to Halloween at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. I have stitched Christmas at Hollyberry Farm and Summer at Hollyberry Farm. And so this is the last one that I have in my stash that I want to get working on. I had started this, I think last year, maybe the year before that. And I had started it on 32 count Murky. And I love, love, love the Murky. But at the time I couldn't find 36 count, which is my sweet spot. So I just decided, oh, I'll just stitch it on 32 count. Well, I'm not 100% in love with the coverage on that white. I'm just using one strand of floss over 2 threads. So I have pondered restarting it. I don't know for sure. And so that's why I stalled out on it and then never worked on it again. I have since then found some 36 count Murky. So I might restart it on that, but I really do like it on the Murky linen. So that is a possibility. I'm going to put these away as I go, or I'm going to have no idea what goes in what. And then another one I would love to get started on. I love this chart. This is Turkey Hollow Farm by Stacy Nash. And I absolutely love this. I have it kitted up, so it's just ready to start whenever I have the opportunity. Another one I would love to start one day is Halloween Eve by Blackbird Designs. I have quite a few Blackbird Designs Halloween pieces finished, and so this would just look really great as an accompaniment to all of them on my Halloween wall. And I showed this one last fall and never started it. I just love it, and I would like to get it started. And that is Autumn Dream by Cottage Garden. And that one's kitted up and ready to go. So we'll see. It's just fun to always dream and, you know, think about what you want to start next. One thing I really for sure want to start this fall is out of the Winds of Autumn book. And that is the Crow Strawberry. What is it called? It's called First Winds of Autumn. And it's this big strawberry that I think I will finish as a drum instead. I've seen someone do that and I can't remember who, but I really loved their drum finish. So I have that one kitted up and anxious to get working on that one. And I have all these in my Joe Morton Lancaster bag. Then this next one, oh, I just want to get this one started. Jane Baxter. And this is by Victorian Rose Neil Arts. So that one's kitted up and ready to go as well. I got the kit from Country Sampler. There's more. I've lost my mind. This one I have considered starting as for cross stitch camp with Sherry from Colorado, cross stitcher, that she has done for this summer. I wanted to participate. I just knew that I couldn't commit and get anything finished with my eyes. But this I would like to start one of these and get that finished in August. So that's a possibility. And I've got that kitted up. Another thing I for sure want to get back to this fall is Pumpkins for Sale by Lori Holt. And I'll show you my progress. I ran out. I didn't have all of the called for threads, and so I made some changes and just used colors out of my stash. This is on 32 count Old Town blend with 2 threads over 2, and so not very much progress on that one yet, but I love that project. Another one that I have all kitted up and ready to go is Autumn Song by Blackbird Designs. I have wanted to stitch this forever, and I have it all kitted up now, and I think that I will for sure put that on the list. I think I could get this done this fall. Okay, the last one. It isn't the last one. I have one more bag. This is Bounty Sampler by Plum Street Samplers, and I've had this kitted up for a couple years, and I absolutely, that is the perfect fall sampler. That has just everything in it that is wonderful about fall. So there are my dreams and maybe plans. We'll see. And I want to get back to, I'm just dying to get back to this. That is Hannah Tingy 1823 by the Scarlet House. I love this project so much. I started this last year as a Sal. Michelle Cozy Egg started it with me. A few friends on Instagram. Penelope, she might have even finished hers. And Carol Saltbox Stitcher. We all started this last Thanksgiving. And here is my progress so far. This is being stitched on Lakeside Linen, but I don't remember the name. Mine is 36 count. And I have a thread conversion from the attic that I am stitching mine with. So I really want to get back to that. So tomorrow is August 1st, and that starts another Blackbird Designs weekend with Brenda and Laura. And so I picked out my project that I want to work on for that. I think I'll work on Yuletide tonight and see if I can get it finished up in the next day or two. And then I want to get back to Christmas Garden, because I would really like to get this finished this year as well. We'll see. It's a big girl, and I'm not even halfway finished yet. I'm sure you've all seen it and know what it looks like by now, but there it is. And I'm stitching this on 28 count Fog by Picture This Plus with all the called for threads. Last time I did a video and showed this, I forgot to mention I was using the called for threads. A lot of people asked. It is so pretty. The colors are very different, and that's what I love about the Blackbird ladies, is they pick colors that I would never have picked, but they just work. They're just geniuses, and I love their color palettes. So the Calico Kitty is the red, and it changes almost from a red to a like tan color. And then the green is Endive. And then there's Fool's Gold in here and Heirloom Gold. There's only 4 colors. So there is my progress so far, and I want to get back to that. I will give that some love this weekend and join in with all of you for the Blackbird weekend. Sal. Okay, I think that I've shown you enough plans and dreams. I have some haul and some happy mail, and so I'll show that next. I have quite a bit of Happy Mail and haul to share with you today. So if that's not your thing, I have no more stitching to share with you today. I will see you next time. And I will try to post videos more often now that my eyes are on the healing end of things. Hopefully I'll have more progress to be able to get on here a little bit more often and spend time with you. I've missed coming on here and having you guys be a part of my life. I have lots of fun stuff to show you because it's been 2 months, so bear with me, but I figured if I love these things, then you guys need to see them because you might have to have them as well. This is Hannah Lancaster, and this is by Worcester Art Museum. I don't know if this is an out-of-print chart or just harder to find, but I called the attic with a recommendation from my friend Lily, and they had it. And Carolyn answered the phone. It was so fun to get to talk to her. I instantly knew it was her as soon as she answered, and they got me taken care of. So there's that. And then I am part of the club with country samplers. It is the Threads of History Club, and this is its first one for the year. And this is One Nation by Samplers Not Forgotten. Oh, I love this so much. I'm not going to start on this until probably next year, but I'm really happy to have it in my stash. And it comes all kitted up. It's a needle book, and so it has a Biscornu, and then this is the front of the needle book, and then this is the back. And I don't know if their club is full or not. You can always call and ask Country Sampler. They came wrapped up really cute in patriotic wrapping. And then this next piece I'm super excited about. I had told my friend, I always tell Lily she's my unicorn whisperer, and I had shown her that I was looking for a sampler, but I didn't even know the name of it. I just had a picture of the sampler herself. And she, like within a minute, texted me back and said, I found it, and it was on eBay. So I just watched it it had like 6 days left on the auction. So I watched it, and then I think I was the winning bid. There was only like one other bidder, and it wasn't even that much money. Less than $30 for sure that I paid for that. But I've ordered the DMC. I've actually been a little kidding DMC. I've been on a kidding DMC roll lately, so I'll show you a few things that I've kitted up as well. But this one I'm excited to start sooner than later. Is definitely one of my unicorn charts. So thank you, Lily, for helping me. And then I of course had to get Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee by Brenda Gervais. This is so cute. I am excited to get this started. That could also be an August start for Stitch Camp. So I ordered this from Farmer's Attic, and Lucy is such a sweetheart there. She's always been so kind and sweet and generous, and she sent me this as an extra. It just has a little dent in the corner of it, which mine comes that way all the time because my mailman likes to like push all my mail in my mailbox. But so this will be a future giveaway. So thank you so much, Lucy. That was so sweet. I love their shop. I order a lot of stuff from Farmer's Attic on Etsy. And then this next one is from Cheryl, who is ShareBear0607 on Instagram. She sent me a darling card. She knows I am a vintage girl. But this is a chart that she has designed and released. It is so sister. And if you would like to order one too for your tomato collection, they're on Instagram as Star Garnet Stitchery. And it's just the cutest chart with that spool of thread and the tomato. So I'll definitely be putting that in my tomato bag to add to my must stitch stuff. So thank you so much, Cheryl. I also got Stitch Cards Set I by Lori Holt. I got this from Fat Quarter Shop, and I love, love, love them. I'm excited to get a few started. She has a Halloween set that I want to also start for the fall season. I didn't pull out and show you guys. But this is the thread pack for Snowballs for Sale. I've ordered the chart and it's on its way to me. But this is the DMC for it. So I'm definitely gonna put this in my winter stitching. I love it. And I'm going to probably stitch it on the called for linen, which is 25 count heritage. That's also by Lori. With the passing of Barb from Blackbird Designs, I wanted to get a few more pieces in my collection to honor her and to remember her by. And I just knew that we've all been kind of hit hard by that sudden passing. So I decided to finish getting the charts for the birds by Blackbird Designs, and it is 9 pieces. I ordered these from Christine at Tallest Hands Create. I had a few charts and I just finished up getting the rest that I needed. So I want to stitch these all on one big piece like Lara, the serial starter, has started. So my collection is complete for that. And then I ordered some 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus from Teresa Kitten Stitcher. And that just came in this week that I'm going to put these on. So that came. I have been a kidding fool lately. I've had this chart in my stash for a while, and I saw, oh, I'm gonna forget her name, the Primitive Stitcher, share her progress on Grace Bridges sampler by Stacy Nash, and it's fantastic. So I kitted that up with the called for DMC, and I have some linen in my stash I'm sure that will work for that. Another thing that I kitted up with DMC that I want to stitch for sure this fall, or at least start, is Turkey Hill Schoolgirl Pocket. I love that so much. So I just kitted it up with the called for DMC as well. And while I was at it, I kitted up this chart, A Sister's Garden by Lottie Daw, and my sweet friend Kim with the Stay at Home Quilter sent me this as a thank you for a giveaway that she'd won. And I had this on my radar to buy. I've seen Lara finish this from Brenda and the Serial Starter, so I for sure want to get that started. Love that so much. Sister's Garden by Lottie Daw. And she sent me the linen for it as well. And then I have some crazy Happy Mail that I don't even know what to say when I show you Happy Mail, because it's one of those things that is, I don't feel, you don't have to send me anything. And when you do, it is very heartfelt, and I appreciate it. So without further ado, I'll just go through my very generous Happy Mail. This first one is from Dara, who is Southern California Stitching. She had won a giveaway of mine. And her darling daughter have a Flosstube, and it's called the Southern California Stitchers. So go watch them. They're one of my very favorites. I always watch their videos when they come out. But she sent me this cute bag. I believe she makes these on her embroidery machine. And sent me some like floss tags and these little magnetic, I can't remember what they're called, but they're awesome to keep your stitching rolled up. If you stitch in hand, you can just hold it, or if you stitch it in a hoop, you can have it held that way too. But then they have their own little needle minder, Southern California Stitchers. This next happy mail is, I'm not gonna cry. So I have a friend, Kim, who I haven't asked her if I could say her handle on Instagram or not, but she lives in California, and she has just sent me so many amazing things that there's no words. But the first thing is this card. How perfect is that card? Vintage trailer and dogs. I mean, does she know me or does she know me? So she sent me many things. I'm not going to show them all in this video. Some of them are wool and quilting fabric, and I'm planning on making a quilting video here soon, so I will show some of those goodies on that. But the cross stitch haul that she sent me a few things to share with you all, so there'll be future giveaways. But she had an extra heritage sampler by Plum Street Samplers, so I'll do that as a future giveaway. And Little House, or no, this is Country Cottage Needlework Sampler of the Month, and this was for July. That's so cute with the house and the flag. And then Blackbird Designs Anniversaries of the Heart Pattern 12, Elizabeth Jane. But she made me some homemade goodies, and we've just been enjoying them this week. She sent some homemade toffee. Homemade toffee is my husband's favorite treat, and his mom and grandma used to make it every Christmas. And since they've both passed away, I try each year to make him peanut brittle. And did I say toffee before? Same thing. Peanut brittle, and mine just doesn't, it always misses the mark. But she sent the best and yummiest peanut brittle, and my husband said it's the very best peanut brittle he's ever had. And then she sent me homemade jams, and I haven't had homemade jam apple butter since my mom passed away, and it was my very favorite that her and my grandma used to make. Oh, sorry. So she made me apple butter and sent it, and strawberry jam. Like, these are like gold to me. And triple berry, she got some of these from her neighbors, some of these from a local farmer. I am so thankful for this community and for your friendships. It just makes stitching even that much better. I'm so happy that I have been on the up end of the eye struggles so that I can get back to what I love most. A real quick word, if you have a bag order in with me, I promise I have you written down, and you're just gonna have to bear with me as I get back on track. With my back injury, I haven't been able to do as much, and when I made those blocks this week for the Kaleidoscope quilt, I was like, oh, I need to stop and lay off a little bit. So it's gonna still be a little bit longer. I'm not taking any more new bag orders right now because I need to get caught up on what I already have. So I'll announce that when I can take new orders, but for right now I just can't. But I thank you for spending your day with me, and I hope that you have a great rest of your summer. And until next time, happy stitching.